Welcome back everyone. Today I've got a special video and that is the best altcoins to buy at the moment. But before I even get started with the video, I want to quickly say we are technically still in a bear market. Be very, very careful. I know a lot of people got burnt with what was happening in the last couple of days with May 12th being a major dump. But I do want to stress the fact that in bear markets, we can get a little bit of a rally with the altcoins. And generally my expectation is that these range anywhere between 2 to 6 weeks. To plan a little bit more conservatively, aim for 2 to 4 weeks. And that's what I think is happening at the moment. So we can even see this with a lot of other cryptos. So let me just click on a random one like AVAX. And this is when other altcoins was going crazy. This is on the daily. We had that March mini altcoin season where things were going pretty well. You know, you were able to make anywhere between 50 to 100% return depending on the crypto you bought. Now, maybe you didn't get that, but you probably got something pretty decent as well if you went in during that time. What I'm trying to say is you will get these rallies in a bear market, and I think we are due for one. It's not to say it's going to happen. I want to stress the fact that we are in a bear market and you should always have stop losses on any of these altcoins because any of these altcoins can break down on you, like AVAX, which has held up extremely well but gotten hit pretty hard. Atom is another one that was holding up really well for a number of months since basically August last year and broke those August support levels, going back down and went into single digits actually before getting scooped up. So I'm just trying to give you a quick background saying that altcoins are a good way to make money. We are in a bear market, so be very careful, but expect a bit of a run for the next 2 to 4 weeks. To play it conservatively, but put a stop loss in all your orders just in case if the unexpected happens. Of course, hopefully Luna has told us that. But what are the best altcoins to buy? Okay, I have been looking at this since yesterday and I'm comfortable to say that I think it's going to be gaming and metaverse coins that are going to do the best gain. That's simply just because if you have a look at, say, Mana was the one that really drew my eye a lot. So if we have a look at Mana, we can see here on the Binance exchange, and let's just focus right in on the day, okay? Because we're trading right now. If we have a look at, say, May 12th, that was May 12th. You can see very high volume on the day. If you don't know how to read a bar chart, the left is the open and the right is the close. But you can see very high volume and a very narrow spread, only 8% difference. So keep your eye on the percentage bar, 8% difference in the open and the close with very high volume. The last day we had slightly lower volume and we closed 30% wider. So May 12th, you get a good close with a relatively low spread considering it's an altcoin. But the next day is really the good thing, which is May 13th. May 13th, in one day, you get a 45% pickup on the daily. Now, it's very important that Mana doesn't break that level. It's really important because what you're looking for is that got scooped up by the smart money and it hasn't had to test that level, which is exactly what happened the next day. So May 14th comes and you get a very good open. So it opens low on the bar and closes extremely strong on very good volume again. And you get a 30% close. So you're basically getting almost, 70% plus already within 2 days. Obviously, we know Mana is part of the gaming metaverse sort of genre of cryptos. So let's have a look at another one. And just to confirm before I leave this chart, you can even see on May 15th, the test happens where they sell off, but it just closes immediately, just right back on strong on the bar. Bit of a test on low volume or roughly average volume, and then you get a bit of a weak close, 12% down. But that's okay to have the test and the pullback. You just want to make sure that these levels don't break. And the good thing is it's not financial advice, but because we're getting in relatively early, your stop loss can actually be pretty close. You mean 15% loss, roughly, you don't want to breaking that level depending on how you want to go. And because we've just started this run, we've got, like I said, 2 to 4 weeks, we can really get to some nice levels. We can even get to the 25 level, and that's a 20% or 19% increase. And then we have the next area, which would be a 37% increase. And then we've got the next area, which is 60%. It just depends how far it can go. And that's why typically when we're in a bear market, I just like to tuck my stop loss underneath and keep moving it because you just never know how much these can run. Let's have another look at another gaming coin, Gala. This is one that I'm really interested in because it just looked really good on a chart as well. So remember, guys, May 12th was the big dip day. What did Gala do on May 12th? Well, here it is, May 12th, there it is. And you can see it actually closed high on the bar. So it actually closed higher and actually got a gain in the day while everything else got dumped. So showing very good strength. So you can see high volume, actually closed strong, whereas Mana actually fell 8%. Gala actually gained 3.75%. The next day you get even higher volume and you get a very good strong close as well right there. You can see closes relatively mid on the bar, which you don't want to see. You want to see a nice, good, strong close. But the good news is you get the pullback. Now, the good news as well is that this is actually currently sitting on the major 50% at the moment, or a cycle 50%, a short-term one. That's the yellow bar here that I've got. So again, big shout out to Michael and Jason Pizzino for their channels. And they talk about this 50% tool a lot. It's a GAN rule and it has worked well. You can see literally perfectly bouncing off it. You could have not timed this any better. Name me any tool that's going to time it as well as this. bounces off the 50% already up, and we're probably due for a run. And again, good strong close, good volume. You need volume. This is the most important part of picking your altcoin on the gain up. What coin is actually having volume? Because you can see on the right hand side here, all of these cryptos are up. All of them are up 3, 4, 5%. But what is actually giving you volume? That's the main thing. It's not to say that the next day the volume can't come in. All we can do is look at the past and see what's happening with the future. And if there's volume, that's the whales buying at the moment. So let's have another look at one, and let's look at render. There's another one, right? Here it's have a look at, say, render. Okay, so you can see there's render. There's your May 12th. It closes reasonably strong on the bar. Very, very high volume. 3% spread difference. And you can see the next day we have a bit of an upthrust. So we got a high volume. Closes relatively weak, which I didn't want to see. But you can see the test gets brought back up immediately. Good strong close on May 15th. Mid on the bar, so you can see that the volume's there, but it's sort of having a hard time, but it's still moving up. You can still respect the trend and that we're moving up. The good thing about this is you're still buying it at a reasonably good price. Even though we have dipped a little bit away from its 50%, you can still see that the bar is still, you're still getting it at a relatively, in my opinion, safe position, because 10% down from the 50%, 26% down from major critical support levels. We're only day roughly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of up, and they haven't moved much. Expect render to do really well in the coming days. Of course, we have to talk about Sandbox, so let's have a look at Sand and see how that one's going as well. So again, we're just using the same template. You don't need all these crazy mathematics and logarithmic charts and all this stuff. If that works for you, awesome. But what you just need to do is understand what was the emotions happening in the day, May 12th. Again, high volume, very, very high volume. You can see the white bar is the average volume, very, very high bar. And you can see 15% close. So it looked a bit weaker. Out of all the cryptos that we've just looked at today, it's looking the weakest. Then you have the next day, high volume, closes mid on the bar, not the best one. And then you have the next day, and you have high volume again. So they're trying to buy this thing. The problem is a lot of people are still selling it as well, but you get a good close, relatively speaking, high on the bar. And now we're sitting somewhere around our 50% at the moment. So you can still get Sandbox at an amazing price. It's not looking as strong as the other ones, but it comes down to your risk to reward ratio. The reward isn't as big, it doesn't look like, but your risk is relatively low because you can tuck your stop loss 20% underneath. You've got a whole 30 to 60% increase happening if things continue pushing forward for the next couple of weeks, like I said. The stop losses should be on everything, and altcoins continue to be a very risky investment during a bear market. But the only time I personally invest into altcoins is when I see the rally coming during those bear market periods. Like I said, 2 to 4 weeks is the period I'm looking at, but always have a stop loss because anything can happen. The US government just announces whatever, anything can happen, and we're right back where we started. So just make sure you've got your stop loss. Make sure once you start making a profit, 6, 7, 8%, break even stop loss. So if it comes, you didn't lose anything. Of course, it can go down below you, but like I said, at the moment, we're starting to build a little bit of steam, getting ready for a little tiny little bit of altcoin season, but always have reservations. If you're too scared and you're too hurt, Ethereum and Bitcoin still remain excellent buys. Forget about the projects, forget about ETH being slow and old. It has held up incredibly well, and you're getting it for an amazing $1,800, which hasn't been seen since basically a year ago in July and June. So ETH's looking fantastic at the moment in terms of a buy. BTC is always looking for a buy, but Ethereum's just too good because its risk is pretty low as well, like Bitcoin, but the reward is much higher in the sense that Ethereum is still, what is that? Ethereum's about 160% away from its all-time high. Bitcoin is about 127% from its all-time high. So, Ethereum's looking just a little bit more better. You got about 30% better gains, and your risk should be relatively the same as Bitcoin anyway. That's my analysis anyway. So let's bookmark this video. Let's see how these go for the time being. Again, guys, please have a stop loss because these are uncertain times, and please be safe out there. Don't get too crazy with the altcoins. I know we all want money. We all want the gains. But do them in a slow way because this is a bear market, and one single bad move can wipe you out. So always remember that. Until then, everyone, if you like the content, hit the subscribe button, like the video, share it with a friend. But until then, stay safe, and I will catch you on the next video.